we got to talk about Joy-Cons, all right? Now, I've been following this class action lawsuit shit from Nintendo for a while, and I got to say one thing. I am not surprised that it's come to this point that these guys are getting sued because of it. Now, I've been one of the people that have been affected by this, and let me get started with it. But before I begin, I just want to make a statement. I think Nintendo fanboys are some of the worst out there. Now, don't get me wrong, fanboys of anything, whether it be Sony, Microsoft, PC, Mac, whatever you want to call it, are toxic in any case. But I find that the Nintendo ones will never really take any form of criticism. If you're not one of those people, I'm not talking about you, but that's just where I'm at in the situation. Now, Nintendo Switch for me is a console that I found to be worth my money. I've gotten my money's worth out of the system. If I calculate all the hours I've played on it, yeah, I definitely have earned the money back playing it. It's been a fun console, it's been a good time, I gotta say, for me. And I've been able to play a lot of games that I would normally not have played, namely RPGs that are like 50, 60 hours long through the Switch because of its portability. Now, let me cover a few things. The Nintendo Switch Mini that's come out is like a cheaper variant of this current Nintendo Switch. Now, there are some caveats. It is a slightly smaller screen as far as I know. The Joy-Cons are built in, which are the worst part, and let me get into it just in a bit. It's got slightly better battery life, and it cannot connect to a TV. Now, I've heard this report from people where it's like, oh, well, the Nintendo Switch was like a pretty good handheld. No. Let's not retcon fucking history real quick, people. The Nintendo Switch was sold as a hybrid console, meaning that you plug it into the TV when you're home and you want that big screen experience, and you take it on the go when you want the hybrid portable experience. And I've used my Nintendo Switch 50-50%. I like to hook up RPGs to my TV. Then if I want to lay in bed, I like to take the Switch out of the dock, lay in bed, call it a day. I can enjoy the Switch in multiple different ways. And that's ultimately how it is. If you choose to use it docked only, that's your prerogative. If you choose to use it handheld only, that's your prerogative. But let's not ignore this system was built that way. So for them to take that away for the Switch Mini, I get you're saving money, but you're losing out a pretty big deal of the Switch. Now, second of all, the big thing that I never ever would ever support this console on is the fact that the Joy-Cons come attached to it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Joy-Cons are the fucking worst piece of engineering. We're talking the worst when it comes to manufacturing of a controller ever, in my opinion. And let's get this started. Now, throughout every console generation, and I bought a lot of consoles, I'm a one controller type of person, which means if I buy a console, the controller that comes with it usually lasts me the whole generation. Now, of course, some people's use is different. For me, that's just how it is. And I'll tell you, if I buy another controller, it's because I want to play split screen or I want to like alternate controllers between charges. You get the point. So when I got the Nintendo Switch, immediately day one there were already issues, like we're talking about that left Joy-Con disconnecting, but that was not even the worst. The worst about it is the Joy-Con drift. And I don't care who you are, but if you've owned the Nintendo Switch for any period of time, you know that this happens to every fucking Joy-Con that exists out there. And I've had 2 pairs of fucking Joy-Cons. Now, let me get this started. The Nintendo Switch is not a cheap affair by any chance. This is not a cheap console, okay? This is not the fucking dollar store bargain bin system. It's up there and priced just within a range of the PS4 and Xbox One. So here's the thing. If those fucking systems can come with controllers that work, the analog sticks are working just fine, which, like I said, there's been no egregious call out of either Xbox One or PS4. Why the fuck are the Joy-Cons exempt from this situation? Why are they coming out with drift? Now, the analog sticks that come bundled with this shit is really crap tier anyway, so trying to play a shooter on one of these things versus the other consoles is difficult, and you probably would want to invest in a pro controller anyways. Now, I've heard a lot of things from Nintendo individuals saying that, hey, it costs a lot of money to make. No, it doesn't, okay? It all gets made at the same fucking factory in China, all right? Nothing in the Joy-Con screams crazy expensive to me. It's a low-power Bluetooth chip, your basic haptics, whatever you want to call it. Stuff like this is present in aspects of other controllers. You want to buy the Xbox One, it comes with like haptic triggers. You want to buy the PS4, it comes with a fucking touchpad and I think not even 6-axis, probably not, but you get the idea. Each controller has its quirk, but it's pretty cheap to make. And when it's priced to the point that it makes a pretty good profit. In fact, that's how most console manufacturers need to make a profit. They don't really make a profit so much on the console anymore, like they break even, but they make a lot of money on the controllers and they make a lot of money on the games and software that are sold, and then the microtransactions, they get a piece of it. You understand how the industry works. So now that I've gotten off all the tangents, this Joy-Con issue is the fucking worst. It has not been fixed at this point. The sticks will drift no matter what. I have pairs of Joy-Cons, left or right, and they have both succumbed to Joy-Con drift. And I cannot fathom even paying $100 Canadian for more Joy-Cons. Now, in my opinion, if these things are the most expensive fucking controllers on the market, okay, like they are pricey, they should come with some form of quality control on these sticks. There's no way that Nintendo can sit there without acknowledging the fact that they have come up with bum Joy-Cons. The fact that they took the same style of analog and put it onto the Switch Mini without any form of ripping off the rails, which, by the way, is a pretty big aspect of the Switch. I mean, sometimes you want to play a game like Diablo 3 with your friend, or Mario Kart, you can split a Joy-Con and pass it over. You can't do it on the Switch Mini. So that's another downside to it. But the fact that they have that, these crap-tier Joy-Cons still attached, the fact that you cannot remove them from the Mini means that once these Joy-Cons are done in, after like 20 minutes of fucking use, guess what? Your Switch Mini is going to feel like a cumbersome piece of shit to play. Imagine playing something tactical like Dark Souls Switch on broken fucking Joy-Cons. Now, the argument is, well, I can just plug in other Joy-Cons. So what, you're going to have your device sitting in front of you or hooked to your TV and hook up other Joy-Cons or the Pro Controller, whatever you want to call it? Ladies and gentlemen, nothing in this situation screams normal. Like, here's the situation. I can kind of deal with it. Like, you get kind of used to it, but it's to a point where mobile gaming is becoming more tactile than some of my Switch Joy-Cons now. So I just have to put that out there. There's no way this system can be co-signed on. And I think Nintendo needs to be held accountable, and I think they are with this class action lawsuit. But for God's sake, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that they released a system without revising the analog sticks that are broken to begin with and then forced them onto the system, irreplaceable by the way, is fucking baffling beyond me. I'm not asking for a Switch Pro, I'm not asking for anything, but I'm asking for $100 Canadian controllers to fucking work throughout the console life cycle. I'm not talking like 2 months into the life cycle, because that's when the drift starts to begin with me. I want proper working Joy-Cons no matter what. And you know what? It's even to the latest revision that you might think it would be fixed after what, like 2 years of the Switch? It has not. Because if you look into it, even the current Switch Mini is currently going through some problems with these Joy-Cons that are attached to it. But yeah, I just have to really put that out there, ladies and gentlemen. This is a key problem when it comes to this controller, when it comes to this console. It's a great console. I enjoy it. Like I said, I play tons of my RPGs on this, like 50 hours of like FF12. Great game. And I was able to play it all the way through because of the Nintendo Switch portability and the fact that it can run 4 times the speed. But there is no way one could sit back and deal with those analogs for an extended period of time. It's a big reason why there's probably not going to be any big title shooters on that Switch. Probably not the fact that it can't just run it. Well, I mean, Overwatch is coming, but you understand the idea. Dealing with broken analog sticks to this day is not where you want to be. And I get the idea you can buy cleaning kits on the internet, which to an extent, I gotta say, is still pretty outlandish that you have to start cleaning out your controllers because of a defect that is created because of them. But that's just what I gotta think. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.